Hey, if you're not thinking about how you can systematize your video creative production, then it's going to be very difficult for you to scale your video ad spend on Meta. In this video, I'm going to show you how one person can create thousands of high quality video ads per month. Okay, so step one is you have to build a modular asset bank. This lets you keep your video ads high quality without having to deal with a lot of crappy footage. So what you can do is you can take a look through all your asset library and approve the ones that you want to keep reusing over and over. And this is important because we all know that content is getting cheaper and cheaper to produce with AI. So managing an asset bank is going to get more difficult with large storage. So this is where Sovran comes in. And so you can tag and have semantic search and scene detect and remix with Sovran. And you can even invite creators to upload their raw videos in Sovran. And if you are a little unclear about what a modular video ad is, it's pretty simple. You most likely have heard about it before. A video ad is usually comprised of a hook, a body, and it ends with a call to action. So the idea is that you can infinitely swap new hooks onto proven body videos, and hooks are very important because if your hook doesn't stop the scroll, then the rest of your video ad gets ignored. So this is why testing a lot of new hooks is very important, because more often than not, if you find a winning hook, it's going to make the whole video ad better, and you can even reuse that hook on new bodies and new call to actions. And I have an older video where I reacted to 53 different visual hooks. I'll link to it at the end of the video. You can go to competitor ad libraries for inspiration too, and you can film them yourselves, or you can use some creators to make them for you. So the next step is, how do you start to target different people and pain points and awareness stages with your messages? This is where you can really scale out your creative diversity. I know people like to talk about that a lot, and I have a video about it on my channel where you can learn more about personas and angles and different levels of awareness and how you can map those different levels of awareness to script frameworks and templates. But you can use AI to write scripts and AI voiceovers, and this is where I like to think about it as an exploration phase. So with video ads and ads in general, you want to have a good mix of exploration and exploitation, which I'll go over in a couple minutes. So exploration usually are new concepts, and you want to test the waters to see if this new script works or this concept works. This is the exploration phase. And again, Sovran helps with this because it scrapes your website or app store and it generates personas and angles so that you don't start from scratch. And you can generate and approve scripts and hooks. So now this is where the fun part happens. And here's where you can remix hook, body, call to action blocks. And this is just one sequence that you can create with Sovran. So let me move over to Sovran right now. Should be able to see this. So I mentioned the modular asset bank that you can build here. So our tool lets you tag assets, which is a pretty basic functionality. And what you can do is also create clips from raw video. Okay, so once you have all these assets in here, you have your hooks, which are a few seconds long, your body videos, which can be a few seconds long also. They can be up to a minute long. And your call to actions, which maybe it's an end card 2 seconds long or 3 seconds long. So we have this ad workshop feature where you can build sequences. And the basic one is the hook and the body and the call to action. So with 12 hooks, 4 bodies, and 1 call to action, that's going to give you 48 ad variations. And then you can just click render video ads. Then you can click 48 to build. We're going to submit it. And within a few minutes, you're going to have all 48 videos ready to launch in Meta. Okay, so once you have these video ads built, you can download them from Sovran, or if you're using CapCut or Premiere Pro, download them, follow a naming convention, which Sovran does for you. You can launch them to Meta, There are tools like Ad Manage that you can use, or you can even use Sovran to connect to your ad account, and we'll launch the ad sets and the ads for you. So you can invite your media buyer to Sovran as well if you want to have them launch the ads that were built in Sovran. I mentioned earlier about the exploration phase, so testing new concepts and knowing where to double down. So you can iterate from performance data, and if you connect your Meta ad account to Sovran, we'll analyze your last 30 days of performance data and rank ads based on what I call the ad score, and it balances out spend with your CPA. Of course, you want high spending ads, and that means Meta likes that ad and wants to spend more. What our ad score does is it prioritizes high spending ads that have the lowest CPA. And with those ads, we'll take a look at the last 30 days and we'll iterate and suggest new hooks to test, new visual hooks to test, and new scripts to test based on what we're seeing works in your ad account. So this is how Sovran gets smarter over time and how you can iterate from your performance data and really exploit what's working already. So, usually I like to recommend a 50-50 split to start off with between new concepts and iterations. Cool. So a bonus, how to test on Meta, and seeing a lot of things on X and LinkedIn about whether or not a creative testing campaign is needed. And I think the confusion is really around semantics. When I'm thinking about a creative testing campaign, I'm really thinking about how can I create an environment where new ads can thrive. And we all know that if you look at your campaigns and your ad sets, that Meta likes to spend the majority of your spend on like 1, 2, maybe 3 ads. So if you throw a new ad in the mix in the same ad set with your historic winner, it's going to have a very small chance of getting any spend. So this is why I think having that creative testing campaign, or you can think of it like a sandbox campaign, is super valuable because you can test new concepts, new hooks, new scripts without having historic performance of an ad in the same ad set. So that's how I think about testing, and I have a few videos in my channel about how to set up a creative testing campaign that you can go and watch. So if an ad set is performing in this testing campaign, sandbox campaign, you can keep increasing the daily budget and spend. You can move the post ID of the winning ads into your scaling campaign where you have, let's say, way higher budgets, or if you are scaling to different countries that are English speaking, or if you want to localize that winning English ad into other languages like Spanish or French, vice versa. So one way to test creatives is in a lowest cost ad set budget optimization campaign. And in each ad set, test one concept with multiple variations of hooks, for example. The second way that you can do creative testing is with a bid cap. And you can start at a bid cap where you see spend starting to happen on the ad set, and you might need to, if you haven't run at bid caps already, you'll need to play around with the bid cap value and start higher than you think, maybe around 3 times higher than what your CPA is, because the bid cap is not your cost cap. And with bid caps, you can keep them same for every ad set in your testing campaign because you want to keep things as equal as you can, meaning you want to eliminate as many delivery variables as you can, like bid cap value or countries. You want to keep them all the same. For instance, just testing in one country like the US or in the Philippines if you want to keep costs low. Remember, more creatives equals more data equals a faster feedback loop. Volume is pretty much the only thing you can control and really measure. I know there's a debate about creative quality and how you need to create high quality ads. The thing is that it's very subjective and it's hard to measure, and you want to not gatekeep your video ads with subjective things like quality. You don't want to say things that might get you in trouble with the FTC and agencies like that, of course, but raw and authentic usually does better than studio quality video ads. So more creatives will get you more data and will give you a faster feedback loop. And you've probably heard about this way too much, but volume is more important than ever. And with the Meta Andromeda algorithm, which you've probably heard on and on about, is really likes high creative volume. So yeah, if you're interested in automating video ads with hook body CTA combinations and managing your asset bank, then you can check out Sovran, which I've been building. There's a 7-day trial that you can test it out for free, and let me know if you have any feedback about how it works. So the video ads were all completed. It's 11:52 right now, and they all were created in a few minutes. So what you can do here is then you can, select the ones and launch them in Meta, and you'll select your campaign and it'll create the ad sets and the ads for you. Cool. So I'll link to the visual hook video that I did, and I hope that this is helpful for you, and stay tuned for more.